You ever feel like you're just drowning in a sea of gaming news, hype, and endless clickbait? Well, today we're taking a deep dive into a site that promises to be your lifeline, NK Games Web News. Let's get into what makes it such a go-to resource.
I mean, if you're a gamer, you know this feeling all too well, right? It's like trying to drink from a fire hose. You've got announcements, updates, rumors, and hot takes coming at you from every single direction. It's practically a full-time job just trying to keep up.
And what does all that noise actually sound like? Well, you've got the endless hype trains for games that are still years away. You've got vague leaks that might be real or might be totally fake. And of course, a never-ending stream of clickbait. Throw in some surprise announcements and all the chatter on social media, and it's almost impossible to figure out what's actually important.
But what if there was a way to just filter all of that out? A single spot that helps you zero in on what's reliable, what's important, and what's actually relevant to you. Well, that's the exact problem NK Games Web News was created to solve. Okay, so let's get into it. The site's entire mission is to be that clear signal in all the static. They're all about giving you trusted updates on everything, from the biggest multi-million-dollar blockbusters to those hidden indie gems. The goal is to let you focus on what really matters, playing great games.
So here's their core philosophy, and it's pretty simple but super effective. It's a two-part punch. One, they hit you with the immediate news right as it drops, but then, and this is the crucial part, they follow it up with a deep dive analysis that explains the impact. It's not just what happened, it's why it should matter to you.
Look, anyone can report the news, but building trust, that's about who is doing the reporting and the standards they hold themselves to. And that's where the team at NK Games really shines, building a rock-solid reputation for being credible.
So what does that actually mean for you, the reader? Well, it means every single claim is fact-checked, so you're not getting fooled by some random rumor. They always credit their sources so you know where the info is coming from, and they give you honest takes, no marketing hype, so you can make decisions for yourself. The whole operation is led by industry vets you probably know, like lead editor Mia Torres, who is an absolute wizard with esports analysis, and Alex Chen, whose tech guides are just legendary.
And this quote from Mia Torres, it sums up their whole approach perfectly. They're not just slapping a 7 out of 10 on a game and calling it a day. No, they're digging into the game mechanics, the design, the tech, to explain why it works or why it doesn't. It's all about the context. And that philosophy, that focus on the why, it bleeds into everything they cover. So let's take a quick tour of their content, because the range is pretty incredible. They really do span the entire gaming landscape. I mean, they've got something for literally every kind of gamer. On one side, you have the Titans. That's their in-depth coverage of the big dogs like EA and Sony. They're tracking roadmaps, they're breaking down earnings calls, giving you the real inside story. But then you've got the Trailblazers, where they shine a spotlight on these amazing little indie games you might never have heard of otherwise. And here's a perfect real-world example of their AAA coverage. In a big review for a Rocksteady game, they praise the combat system, but, and this is key, they flag specific frame drops on the base model PS5. That single piece of info became a huge talking point online, helping tons of players decide whether to buy the game right away or wait for a patch. That's direct, actionable advice. But their impact on the indie scene is just as massive. Get this, a small, cozy farming sim was featured in their Hidden Treasures column. The result? Its sales jumped by an incredible 300% in just a few days. So they don't just cover indie games, they can literally change the future for small development teams. And they don't stop at just the games themselves. Oh no. They dive deep into the pro esports scene, analyzing roster shuffles in Valorant, breaking down strats, and at the same time, they're publishing super detailed hardware guides and benchmarks to make sure your rig is running at its absolute best.
That whole idea of helping you get the most out of your gaming life brings us to another key part of their site, giving you practical advice and looking at what's next to help you become a smarter player and consumer.
So, for instance, take their tech guides. They aren't just a wall of specs. They give you simple, practical steps you can actually follow. You know, check the recommended specs, sure, but then run the in-game benchmark to see how your PC handles it. And here's a great pro tip from them. If you're dropping frames, adjust the shadows first. They're almost always the biggest performance hog.
They also keep a super close eye on the big industry trends, but they break down what it all means for you. So with cloud gaming, they're not just saying it's a thing. They're testing latency on real Wi-Fi to see if it's actually playable. For subscription services, they dig in to find the best value for your money. And for tricky subjects like NFTs, they cut through all the noise to separate what's real from what's a scam. And they back all this analysis up with data. For example, they've been tracking how cloud gaming adoption grew by a huge 45% last year. That's not a niche hobby anymore, it's a major shift in how we play, and NK Games is right there helping you figure it all out.
So let's pull all these threads together. When you look at the whole package, why does NK Games Web News really deserve a spot in your bookmarks bar?
Here's the bottom line. NK Games gives you a mix you just don't find anywhere else. You get that deep, thoughtful analysis of AAA games right alongside a real, genuine passion for discovering indies. You get sharp esports coverage next to tech advice you can actually use. It's all delivered by a team you know you can trust, making it the one-stop shop to cut through all that noise.
Ultimately, this is all about one thing, helping you find that next great game, that next amazing experience. It doesn't matter if it's a huge blockbuster or a hidden gem no one's heard of yet. Thanks to a site like this, it's easier than ever to find it. So the only question left is, what amazing game will you find next?